all of the Maine State Police findings have been handed over to the Penobscot County District Attorney's Office. Any charges in this case will come from that office. Not only are they out in the community now, but they're participating in all of these events. We have softball, long jump, we have running and walking events. I'm in downtown Bangor, been here all morning. Pretty good snowball snow, it's kind of a small one, but I was able to make it. The University of Maine men's basketball team has finally returned to the Cross Insurance Center. Sam and Pat, those a part of this morning's vigil here in Waterville, say they knew in their hearts that Nicholas Lovejoy had something to do with Sousa's disappearance and death. They wanted to remember the good times with Sousa, but they also want to make sure that their twin daughters aren't lost in all of this.
I want to talk about Melissa, tell everybody how much of a great friend she was.
A great friend, and
she was a wonderful mother.
But unfortunately, she was in an abusive relationship that ultimately took her life.
My niece was scared.
Stayed in her relationship with Nicholas Lovejoy.
That's why she stayed.
A longtime boyfriend and the father of Sousa's 8-year-old twin daughters.
I think he should get at least life in prison.
And now, family and friends of Sousa just want justice.
Because she suffered for longer than today and yesterday and last year.
According to friends and family, Lovejoy had been abusive to Sousa for a long time.
She deserves to be stuck up for and any other victims out there that are suffering like she is.
No longer suffering.
This is who Melissa was.
Melissa's friends want to remember who she was, not how her story ended.
Melissa's not the boyfriend of a monster. She's Melissa.
It was definitely an emotional morning here in Waterville, and friends and family are still trickling in and leaving balloons and flowers and other things to remember Sousa. They did set up a GoFundMe page for her funeral expenses as they hope to bury her in Massachusetts with her family. There's a link to that on our website.
I hear you loud and clear, Mom. How do you hear me?
A loud and clear signal established between Caribou High School and the International Space Station, established by Dr. Jessica Mear's mother, Ula Britt Mear. Mear spoke to students at Caribou High School on Tuesday and answered questions ranging from,
why did you want to be an astronaut?
To,
with the impending approach of Kessler syndrome, how will we help solve the problem of space junk?
Mear wrote in her high school yearbook in 1995 that her future plan was to go on a spacewalk. So students in Caribou put pen to paper and put out their future plans too, or their spacewalks.
I want to be a scientist.
By answering questions from students, Mear and the Caribou School District are reminding students that their dreams can come true, and many students are inspired.
You can do anything that you put your mind to, and that your dreams are the sky's the limit.
Mear's mother spoke to Caribou students too, telling them all about what the launch was like last month.
I said, my daughter is going to sit on top of that.
But Ula Britt Mear has always supported her daughter's dreams.
She is so happy, and that makes me happy.
Well, I was very, very fortunate to have a lot of support, like I mentioned before, from my family and friends all along the way.
All that support is somewhat surprising.
And I suddenly see Jessica in a spacesuit on the sign and the shift, welcome to come to this event.
Caribou High School pulled out all the stops today, decorating the entire school and reminding students to always reach for the stars. In Caribou, Jackie Mundry, News Center, Maine. Renee Clark Henneberry was killed last July, shot dead in her own apartment. Her daughter Bethany remembers how strong her mother was.
She was a I can do anything kind of person.
Renee ultimately found the strength to leave her husband Chuck, but it's his brother Philip who was arrested and charged with her murder. Just 1 month before the shooting, Philip had allegedly threatened Renee. She tried to take out a protection from abuse order against him, but was denied because Maine law didn't allow it, because Philip wasn't her domestic partner, just her brother-in-law, who lived right across the hall from her and her estranged husband.
Police told Renee not to go back to that place, not to go back to that building.
But Renee did go back, despite being denied that protection order, because Philip didn't live in the same apartment as she and her husband.
Phil was staying in the back. We had it separated because Renee was very adamant that there would be that he couldn't see her.
Now, Renee's daughter and her lawyer are leading the charge to keep this from happening to someone else by working with lawmakers to change the way the protection order law is written.
Right now, the bill defines family or household members as it has the specific language, adult household members. And so what we've proposed to do is strike out those 3 words and insert the word individuals.
A small change with a big meaning, which is why Renee's daughter has spoken to lawmakers at the State House directly.
I just think that when you can put it into a real person's perspective, people are more likely to listen to it.
Bethany Henneberry and Ezra Willey are not only looking to change the way the law is written, but hoping the courts will better offer advice for people seeking protection.
She could have qualified for protection from harassment based on that one act of that threat of violence against her. She didn't know that.
Renee's daughter says if the law language is changed and helps people get the protection they seek, she'll consider that a success and a way to honor her mother. In Augusta, Jackie Mundry, News Center, Maine. Welcome to Halifax, Nova Scotia, boyhood home of Boston Bruins Brad Marchand. What was he like as a kid?
The same as he is now.
And those who know him best
I've been with Brad now for 18 years.
Are proud of where he ended up, in a place that surprises some because in his younger years, Marchand wasn't exactly a standout.
Certainly, I think anyone would be a liar who thought, yeah, this kid's going to the NHL. But what he had was just the fire, the desire. He was feisty, as he is right now.
The way he's always been, and the reason people either love him or hate him.
Fans loved him, and he was great for our organization. It was tough to see him go.
We all know Brad Marchand as the Bruins star, scoring 100 points for the Bees just this year. But before he wowed the crowds of Boston's TD Garden, he did so in his hometown of Halifax, Nova Scotia, playing here at the Scotiabank Centre for the Halifax Mooseheads. But speaking of moose, we have a lot of those in Maine, and Brad's longtime friend and coach said he would get over the border to vacation land as much as possible for this one thing.
He was hunting there. He's an avid hunter. He loves it.
Just like he loves coming home, which he does each summer to work out with old coaches. Following in Marchand's skate tracks, Massachusetts native Jake Rysack, who grew up a Bruins fan and now plays for the Mooseheads in Canada.
Brad Marchand's he's one of the toughest guys to play against. He caused a lot of trouble in the NHL. I mean, it's fun watching him.
He kind of feeds off it. He wants people to be in his face and you know, talking about him, and he wants the media to be talking about him. And you know what, at the end of the day, he walks away from the rink, he's a completely different person.
What's not different? How his friends, family, and coaches are hoping for the W.
For anybody who's a true hockey fan, this is what you wait for. You really hope that the team or the people that you're supporting gets to this level.
And the Bruins are right there again this year. One win already under their belt on their quest for the Cup. In Halifax, Nova Scotia, Jackie Mundry, News Center, Maine. Hiring bus drivers continues to be a challenge for school districts and bus companies alike.
We get mechanics to drive, we get office personnel to drive. They don't know the reason other than people just don't seem to need to have to work. And our business is part-time.
Part-time work just isn't as appealing to people as it used to be, and it's becoming more difficult for people to become bus drivers.
We have the drug issue that people that have had drugs, have issues, can't drive anymore.
With fewer people actually wanting to get behind the wheel of a school bus, it's prompted legislative action, and a state senator from Belfast is leading the charge.
So what this bill does is it allows public school bus drivers to collect unemployment benefits over the summer.
Senator Erin Herbig is proposing this bill after a school in her district was forced to close for a day earlier this year because it didn't have enough bus drivers. She says the money to pay for those unemployment benefits would have to be approved by the legislation's Appropriations Committee. While some bus drivers are supporting this bill, Joe Sear of Sear Bus Lines doesn't think it will help much.
Being a businessman, I don't like to pay people for doing nothing. I'll say that right away.
Sear says he offers his employees bonuses and pays more than minimum wage. But even with those incentives, people just don't want to drive school buses.
Evidently, these people are working at other jobs that are a little better suited for them, so they don't come see us.
In Old Town, Jackie Mundry, News Center, Maine.